You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, today is Wednesday the 6th of August 2025 and you're listening to the Diary of a Wannabe Writer. And once again, I've done quite a lot since I last spoke to you. The main thing I've done, of course, is flown, not with my own beating wings, but flown from Sydney back to Singapore. So I'm now in a hotel in Singapore. But when I last spoke to you, I had written about 1,500, 1,700 words, something like that, of chapter 4. In fact, I think it was the next, because I'd written one lot of 1,500. Then I'd written the next batch. So I was on about 3,200 words when I last spoke to you. Well, I'm really slightly surprised and pleased to say that that chapter is, or the first version of it anyway, is done. So I think I spoke to you after I'd had a couple of beers in the bar, or a couple of alcohol-free beers in the bar, and was about to go to bed. I think my memory is very fuzzy, but I think that's when I spoke to you last. Well, it took me a little while to get to sleep, and I kind of twigged where I needed the scene to go. So I wrote a bit more, and then this morning I had breakfast at the hotel in Sydney and wrote a little bit more. In fact, I wrote the rest of the chapter. So it comprises mainly of two scenes. There's 11 printed pages of what I've got in front of me now. The chapter is called Been There, Done That. But Bean is spelt B-E-A-N, like coffee bean. And if you remember, or anybody who's read Still Life will remember that there was a charity shop called This and Tat. Well, that site is owned by the Sutherland Institute, and they use it, amongst other things, to monitor people who might have potential abilities. And that site has been taken over because the person who ran the charity shop, Geraldine, died in the last book. So it kind of makes sense that they would actually use it for something else. So yes, I might have said all this yesterday, but I might not have had a name for the coffee shop yesterday. I basically Googled chavvy coffee shop names and it came up there with Been There, Done That. So yes, This and Tat has become Been There, Done That. So there's a scene set there where Dawn speaks to I'm so tired, sorry. Dawn speaks to Molly, and Evelyn is there as well. And then the chapter ends with the night out, basically. So Evelyn wants to experience 21st century nightlife. And yeah, she does, and she seems to quite enjoy it, actually. So I wrote the last line of the chapter in bed this morning, not long before so after breakfast and not long before our alarm call came to say, time to fly back to Singapore. So I did the flight, and that was absolutely fine. Quite enjoyed it, actually. I quite often quite enjoy it, though. That's one of the reasons I do this job. And we got into the hotel in Singapore. The flight was actually 8 hours, and we arrived about 10:30, I think. Singapore time, arrived at the hotel, and I did something a bit crazy. Like I did in Sydney, I suddenly felt the urge after that relatively short flight to go to the gym, because I am trying to get my activity levels up. I am trying to lose some weight. So I just did 1 mile. I did it relatively quickly. I say relatively quickly. I was only going at 3 miles an hour because it took me 20 minutes, but it got a sweat on, and that's the point. And I can feel around my face I might be starting to lose weight, although it'll be a while before that hits the middle. Weirdly, when I lose weight, the first place I feel it is around my face. It'll be a little while, as I say, before that gets to the important bits like my belly. But anyway, so I did that. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention that I did, during the break on the aircraft, I was lucky enough to be allowed to use an area where normally we just have bunks, but I was allowed to use an area that had a seat as well. Oops, sorry, that was me moving the computer. So I sat there with my laptop and read through chapter 4, Been There, Done That, a couple of times, and actually I think it's ready for sign-off. So, as I say, got to the hotel, went to the gym because I'm completely insane. It's a shame, actually, because I need something to eat, but we always get here after the local supermarket is closed when we come back from Sydney. When we're arriving from London, there's a couple of hours, but this flight arrives in a bit later, so I couldn't do that. So I went to the gym, I did me mile, and then I came back to my room and thought, well, I'm not going to do a sign-off tonight because I'm too tired. Because bear in mind, I've now been in this time zone for nearly a week, or not far off a week. It feels like nearly a week anyway, or close to it. It's now 23:15, so 11:15 in the evening, and I am tired. I'm quite pleased that I managed to get the exercise done, but I won't be doing any reading and signing off tonight because as much as I'm really keen to do it, I think the quality of what I do will not be very good. So what I will do is hopefully get that signed off tomorrow, which will leave me precisely where, in fact, slightly ahead of where I wanted to be, because by the end of this trip, by the end of day 9, I wanted to have signed off 2 chapters, and this is day 7. So there's a chance I may even get a chunk of chapter 5 written. Remember, chapter 5 is quite an important scene around Saywood, or quite an important section around Saywood that originally was supposed to be on the end of this chapter. I'm so glad it wasn't, because it would have been very rushed. So maybe I'll get that started tomorrow, who knows, but I should definitely get chapter 4 signed off. Anyway, that's the update from Singapore. I'm going to try and do an update tomorrow from outside so you don't keep hearing hotel ambience. Anyway, thank you for listening. Take care. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.